It's Andy, and I'm reading through the Bible. The Bible. We're hip deep in the book of Exodus. I'm reading through chapters 19 and 20 today. The last time we left Moses and his ragtag fugitive fleet. That's an old school Battlestar Galactica reference, by the way. They were meandering through the desert. In these two chapters, they were at Mount Sinai, and God has a lot of stuff to tell them. Commandments. Lots of commandments. Actually, 10 commandments right here. And also he tells them why not to use steps when approaching the altar. I don't really understand that. I'm not making that up. It's at the very end of chapter 20. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. Are you ready for Olde Testementy fun? I am. So let's start with chapters 19 and 20 in the book of Exodus. At Mount Sinai. On the first day of the third month after the Israelites left Egypt, on that very day, they came to the desert of Sinai. After they set out from Rephidim, they entered the desert of Sinai, and Israel camped there in the desert in front of the mountain. Camping fun. Got their Coleman stuff out, marshmallows and s'mores. Then Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain and said, "This is what you are to say to the descendants of Jacob, and what you are to tell the people of Israel." I guess that's my God voice today. "You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt. I put the hurt on them. I made them pain in big ways." So now I'm talking like Trump in that stupid voice. "And how I carried you on eagle's wings," very Lord of the Rings, "and brought you to myself. Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole world is mine, you will be for me a kingdom, a priest, and a holy nation. These are the words you are to speak to the Israelites." You get to be a possession of God. See, there's no such thing as rights in Christianity. It's about being God's thing. So Moses went back and summoned the elders of the people and set before them all the words the Lord had commanded him to speak. The people all responded together, "We will do everything the Lord has said." Sounds kind of like a cult. Does it sound like a cult? I think it sounds like a cult. So Moses brought their answer back to the Lord, because the Lord obviously didn't know that. The Lord said to Moses, "I am going to come to you in a dense cloud, so that the people will hear me speaking with you, and will always put their trust in you." Then Moses told the Lord what the people had said. As if God didn't know. But maybe God didn't know. Maybe he was just a dude behind the curtain. And the Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Have them wash their clothes and be ready by the third day, because on that day the Lord," that's me, "will come down on Mount Sinai in sight of all the people. Put limits on the people around the mountain and tell them, 'Be careful. You do not approach the mountain or touch the foot of it. Whoever touches the mountain is to be put to death. They are to be stoned or shot with arrows. Not a hand is to be laid on them. No person or animal shall be permitted to live. Only when the ram's horn sounds a long blast,'" I lost my God voice for a minute. "Only when the ram's horn sounds a long blast may they approach the mountain." So you can't touch the mountain when God's there. Makes sense. After Moses had gone down the mountain to the people, he consecrated them, and they washed their clothes. A lot of water in the desert to do that. Then he said to the people, "Prepare yourselves for the third day. Abstain from sexual relations, because, sex makes you dirty on the inside, and God doesn't want that. On the third morning of the third day, there was thunder and lightning, with a thick cloud over the mountain, and a very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God. And they stood at the foot of the mountain, at the feet. I don't know why mountains only have one foot. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke, because the Lord descended on it in fire. The smoke billowed up from it like a smoke from a furnace, and the whole mountain trembled violently. As the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and the voice of God answered him. The Lord descended to the top of Mount Sinai and called Moses to the top of the mountain. So Moses went up, and the Lord said to him, Go down and warn the people, so they do not force their way through to see the Lord. That's me. And many of them perish. Even the priests who approach the Lord, that's me, must consecrate themselves, or the Lord, me, will break out against them. Actually, his guys will break out against them with the stoning and the arrow shooting. But let's go on. Moses said to the Lord, The people cannot come up Mount Sinai because you yourself warned us. Put limits around the mountain and set it apart as holy. The Lord replied, Go down and bring Aaron up with you. But the priests and the people must not force their way through to come up to the Lord, or he, me, will break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and told them, you get the feeling that the Bible, there's just so much filler in here. So much filler. You get paid by the letter. And told them, oh, hey, here comes the 10 Commandments. Did you know that there are 613 commandments listed in the Bible? There are commandments about what to do. There are commandments about what not to do. God does get quite specific about how to beat your slave. But I digress. Let's get to the commandments. Chapter 20. And God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. I am numero uno, number one. Your first pick, your last pick, your only pick. You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, on earth below, beneath it, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I am the Lord your God. I am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of their parents to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing love, I tell you, for 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. So God's going to punish your kids, your grandkids, and your grandkids' kids because, you drew a picture of someone. You shall not misuse the name the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. That's taking the Lord's name in vain, by the way. Remember the Sabbath by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, nor your son or daughter, nor your male or female servant, nor your animals, nor any foreigner residing in your towns. Wow, not even the foreigners. That's tough. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, but he rested on the seventh day. He took a nap. I took a nap. I like naps. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Here comes another commandment. Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. I heard that a lot when I was a kid. I think you brought up Baptist, you have to hear that. Oh, wait, here comes another one. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. Unless you're Donald Trump. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male or female servant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Note how the wife is in the same category as the house and the slaves. When the people saw the thunder and the lightning, and heard the trumpet, and saw the mountain in smoke, they trembled in fear. They stayed at a distance and said to Moses, Speak to us yourself, and we will listen, but do not have God speak to us, or we will die. Even listening with your ears to God, they think they're going to die. Moses said to the people, Do not be afraid. God has come to test you, so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning. It's for your own good. The people remained at a distance while Moses approached the thick darkness where God was. The thick darkness. Oh, idols and altars. Here are some rules about idols and altars coming up. We're all very excited. Then the Lord said to Moses, this is where the nakedness comes in. Tell the Israelites this, you have seen for yourselves that I have spoken to you from heaven. Do not make any gods to be alongside me. Do not make for yourselves gods of silver or gods of gold. Make an altar of earth for me, and sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and fellowship offerings, your sheep and goats, and your cattle. Wherever I cause my name to be honored, I will come to you and bless you. If you make an altar of stones for me, do not build it with dressed stones. I do not want dressed stones. I want them naked and nude. For you will defile it if you use a tool on it. And do not go up to the altar on steps, or your private parts will be exposed. Thanks for watching. That's 19 and 20. Please like and subscribe if you like. See you next time. Bye.